Endeavor, once we get the body flap position, we will be go for Ops 9.
Copy, Houston, body flaps coming.
We show you on energy, on ground tracks, nav is go.
Why is X-Man so hairy?
What?
Why is this X-Man guy so hairy?
Which?
Wait for it to come around, I'll tell you when he comes around again. On this screen, they have this dude and he's got the hair all over his body, but it's like funny pixelated. It's gonna happen in just a second. Wait for it, wait for it. Okay, so like normal, what the hell is this? What?
That's Wolverine. He's hairy.
Oh, Wolverine. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, sure, Wolverine. Always remember the microphone.
Tell everyone how awesome your show's gonna be.
Get the microphone on. The show's gonna be awesome.
Promise?
100%.
Swear?
100%.
Swear on your mother?
Swear on my mother.
Swear on your father?
Swear on my father.
Swear on my mother?
No.
Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, because that'd be kind of rude. I want to say hi to you.
There, I guess. Hi.
We're gonna get a little emotional, just for a minute.
Endeavor, on at the 180.
Roger, on at the 180.
No, don't film me.
You're kind of crap.
Get over there.
I found my Milky Way.
You got this Milky Way.
I'm all DJ Gordon with this Milky Way.
There you go.
Arc.
Arc.
A-R-Q-E.
I got you.
Yeah. Frank Sin.
Frank Sin. Okay.
Sin with 2 N's.
No, tag him as Wetmobile Rave Tsunami, dog.
Facebook deleted that. Roosevelt. Council.
right
Like
this down.
student council.
I'm gonna
vote for
forget.
me.
My dumbass is gonna forget.
3 6.
I'm recording it.
Oh yeah, he's recording.
There you go. Roosevelt Council, the third.
The third.
Not 1, not 2, not 4, not 10.
Not
The
third.
third. 1, 2, 3. If you're recording this, it's FRANKIESINN. Double the pain, double the pleasure. And shout out to the guy's shirt play on Seinfeld. George Costanza's my dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah. There's only one of
That's
those.
actually fire.
There's
Oh,
only
that's
one.
so lit.
One ever made.
What?
Only one. He's got.
Oh, that's so lit.
That's fire.
I am the only one.
I want to talk a little bit today about used gear. I don't want to talk about why buying used gear is a better option than buying new gear, especially for musicians who don't have the means to purchase new gear. For a long time, I had my father and my grandmother to thank for the majority of my financial support for music. And once I moved away, I was more or less on my own. And so financially, I couldn't afford new gear. And that's just something that I see a lot of people spending lots of money on often, is purchasing new equipment. And I think that there's a stigma about used gear that it's not as good, or that it's not that you're not as good of a producer or a composer if you buy used gear, because if you were a good producer or a composer, you'd be making lots of money and you could afford new gear. That's not necessarily true. For one, if I'm buying a synthesizer, I'd rather buy it used, because synthesizers, especially analog synthesizers, actually have a burn-in time, or a period in time where they need to be warmed up. The circuit boards need to be played for an extended period of time. They have to be burnt in. You often don't have to deal with that burn-in time if you buy it used. Someone else has already done that for you. Okay, starting over here, there's this Yamaha kid synthesizer that I rarely ever use, but used. Bought it at the thrift store, 25 bucks. Both of these Furman power conditioners, used. This speaker, both speakers actually, that speaker, both monitors, Mackie MR8s, both of those, bought them at a pawn shop, used. Speaker stands, those plant stands, I built them myself, DIY. Treatments on the walls, DIY, built them myself. And the majority of my studio itself is homemade. It's all DIY or purchased used. My bass, I built that bass, I got that guitar used. This was a gift from my mother and father. That bass right there is exceptional. Although, technically it is secondhand. I bought it from a conductor of an orchestra. All these Wild instruments, my oud, my sitar, secondhand, bought them used. There's so much great used gear out there that it doesn't really justify purchasing new equipment. Because what are those instruments going to do? Not to treat them or personify them, or not to treat them like humans or personify them, but those instruments need a home. There's good stuff out there. Don't spend all your money on gear, because it's not the gear that makes the music. It's the musician behind the gear that makes the music.
Copy that. We're ready for 302, and you can maneuver on time.
Houston, if you're ready, we'll maneuver.
Ready for the maneuver, and secondary actuator check is not required.